Ever wonder why some people always get love and respect while you feel like you're being ignored on your path to self-improvement? We all want to be liked and respected by others, but sometimes it's our small, seemingly harmless habits that get in the way and make people not respect us. Stoicism's deep, unchanging principles give us a great way to look at these bad habits and change them. Stoicism not only teaches us how to be good and keep our feelings in check, but it also helps us find peace within ourselves in the midst of life's chaos. In this video, we'll look at 10 bad habits that make you lose respect and how to break them using Stoic principles. Let's go on this journey to not only learn more about ourselves, but also to find a way to live a meaningful and respected life. With each habit, we will learn how to change, becoming better versions of ourselves every day and building lasting, loving relationships. Come on this trip with an open mind and a strong will to find and change the small but deeply important parts of our lives. Number 1. Gossiping. Have you ever thought, do my words really mean something, or are they just waste of time? It's a bad habit to talk about other people without reason. It wastes time and makes other people less likely to respect us. As the Stoic philosopher Epicus said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we should listen more and talk less. Being a source of irritation and trouble should not be your goal. When we engage in pointless gossip, we not only lose respect from others, but also lose sight of our own worth. In today's world, staying away from pointless conversations can be hard, but it's also where the strength of the Stoic soul is tested and refined. If someone comes to you to complain about another coworker, you can either listen and agree or suggest a constructive way to solve the problem. By choosing the latter, you not only help solve the problem but also build trust and respect on both sides. To break the habit of idle gossip, we need to become more aware of and responsible for our words. Let your words become seeds of love and understanding instead of sharp blades that hurt others. Remember that respect comes from actions as well as sincere and meaningful words. Have you ever thought about why trust is so important in every relationship? When we break our promises or neglect our duties, we not only lose the respect of others, but also feel less important to ourselves. Number 2. Being unreliable. Consider a time when you gave someone an important task and they didn't finish it on time. The disappointment and loss of trust that caused you probably made you think twice about giving them more work in the future. This doesn't just happen at work. It happens with family and friends too. If you promise your child that you'll get home early to see their performance but can't because of work, they might forgive you the first time. But if this happens a lot, they will lose trust and respect in you, which can have deep and lasting effects. So how do we build reliability? First, promise yourself that you will only make promises that you know you can keep. Stoic philosophy tells us to be careful and honest in what we do. Only when we know our limits can we be trusted and earn respect from others. That's why we want to know. Do your words and actions match up? Do you regularly take care of your obligations? By answering these questions, we can start the process of improving ourselves, becoming more dependable people. As Jesus and the Stoics taught, being reliable not only helps us build good relationships, it also brings us peace of mind. Number 3. Interrupting others. When you talk over someone else, you not only lower the value of what they're saying, but you also miss the chance to learn and understand them better. This is especially important in today's world, where respect and attention in communication are becoming less common. Imagine a meeting where everyone is sharing their thoughts. If someone is constantly interrupted, they will feel disrespected, which will weaken team spirit and cooperation. On the other hand, when we listen with patience and attention, we not only show respect, but we also create a positive and effective working environment where everyone feels valued and heard. Encourage collaborating and being creative. Jesus also taught us about the importance of listening and respecting others. He said, "Love your neighbor as yourself." Listening is not only a social action, but also an act of love and respect. When we listen to others, we not only understand them better, but also share love and care. Just as Jesus taught us a concrete example in daily life when a friend comes to you to share a personal problem, and you interrupt them with your opinion. Immediately, you inadvertently lose the respect and trust they have for you. Instead, listen to them sincerely, ask questions to understand better, and then offer your opinion. This not only helps you understand the issue. By being patient and listening, you send a strong message of respect and genuine concern. In fact, listening helps us learn to understand and connect with others in a genuine and deep way. When we truly listen, we open our hearts to new experiences and points of view, which leads to better understanding and empathy. To sum up, if we want to stop interrupting others, we need to practice patience and respect and let their words sink in. As you listen with all your heart, ask yourself if you're really there or just waiting your turn to speak. People will respect and trust you more if you do little things like these. People will trust you more if you listen honestly, and you'll also help create a culture where people listen and understand. Number 4, complaining. Imagine having a stressful day at work. When you get home, instead of trying to relax, you keep complaining about work, your boss, your coworkers, and the problems you're having. This not only makes you feel worse, but it also makes your family and friends have to listen to your endless complaints instead of sharing happiness and peace with you. Does whining really help you get things done, or does it just make you feel worse? Soul indeed, according to Stoic philosophy, complaining is not only a sign that you can't handle things, but it also means you haven't accepted reality. Stoics believe that we become stronger and more adaptable when we accept things as they are and look for ways to make them better. Ask yourself, what good can I learn from this experience? How can I make this situation better in the future? These questions will help you change your negative thoughts into positive ones and your complaining into action. Remember that every challenge is a chance to grow and learn. Jesus also taught us the importance of being thankful and accepting things as they are. He said, "Give thanks in all circumstances, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus." This reminds us to always look for the good in things instead of only focusing on the bad. If we always moan and complain, there will be unhappy times in our lives. But if we accept that and look for ways to make things better, we will find that life is more important and worth living. Complaining not only makes people less respect you, but it also makes you less respect yourself. Challenge yourself by stopping complaining and taking action. Let every word we speak bring value, joy, and support to others. Remember that trust and respect don't come from complaining, but from doing real, useful things. If you stop complaining, you'll not only improve your own life, but you'll also spread hope and respect to those around you. Now, let's move on to the 5th reason. Have you ever thought about why people avoid and respect you when you're cocky? Being cocky hurts relationships with others and makes you less trusted. When we let pride and complacency take over, we miss out on chances to learn and grow. Number 5, arrogance. Arrogance often comes from putting too much emphasis on oneself and one's accomplishments instead of realizing that every experience is a useful lesson. When you put yourself first, it's hard to see how others can teach you something. Consider a time when you were around someone who always thought they were the most important person in the room. You probably didn't want to talk to or work with them anymore because they made you feel uncomfortable and frustrated. If you are arrogant, others will feel the same way about you, which not only hurts respect, but also makes it harder to cooperate and work as a team. Jesus taught, "Anyone who wants to be great among you must be your servant." This teaching reminds us of how important it is to be humble and help others. When we let go of our ego, we not only become closer to others, but we also earn their respect and affection. For example, in a group project, if you always think your opinion is the best and don't accept other people's ideas, you will lose unity and the spirit of cooperation. Instead, if you listen to and respect everyone's opinion, you will see that different ways of thinking lead to better results and stronger relationships. Emperor and philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Remember that you can only be happy if you live in harmony with your rational mind and in line with your nature." Respect and humility not only help us build good relationships, but they also give us peace of mind. Ask yourself, am I listening and respecting others, or just trying to assert myself? Being cocky hurts us and the people around us. Learn to be humble and listen and respect those around you. Only when we know our flaws and value others can we truly be trusted and respected. Jesus taught us about the power of service and kindness. We should follow his lead and live a meaningful and respectful life so that everything we do and say brings inspiration and love to those around us. We are halfway through today's lesson. Your presence is a great support for us as we work to teach more people about the true values of Stoicism. Please like and share this video or leave a comment to share these lessons with your friends and family. If you're ready for the next 5 lessons, I love my life. Number 6. Negative attitude. Imagine starting the day with a bad mood. Everything around you looks gray and hopeless. When you bring this bad mood into your work and daily life, you not only feel tired and bored, but you also make other people feel bad. This habit not only makes you less productive and creative, but it also hurts your personal and professional relationships. Have you ever thought about how my attitude affects how other people see and treat me? Keeping a positive attitude about the things that happen in our lives is important for keeping our peace and making friends. When we keep a negative attitude, we hurt ourselves and lose the respect and trust of others. You had a bad day at work and are in a bad mood when you get home. Instead of sharing good things or listening to your loved ones' stories, you complain about everything. This not only ruins the family atmosphere but also makes people angry and pushes them apart. On the other hand, if you try to change your attitude and look at problems more positively and optimistically, you will find that life is more pleasant and your relationships get much better. Jesus taught us to love our enemies and pray for those who hurt us. He also told us to keep a positive attitude and forgive even when things get hard. This teaching not only helps us find peace in our hearts, but it also helps build a community where everyone treats each other with love and respect. Our attitude is the only thing we can really control. If we keep a positive attitude, we can turn problems into chances to learn and grow. Ask yourself, am I seeing everything negatively? Can I change my attitude to make things better? Do you have the courage to take on this challenge? Feel free to share your thoughts and stories in the comments. By answering these questions, we can begin the process of changing our bad attitudes and replacing them with positive, optimistic ones. This change not only helps us, but it also makes the people around us happier. As Jesus and Stoic philosophy taught, it's not what happens to you that counts, but how you react to it. This quote from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus really struck a chord with me as I learned more about Stoicism. The idea behind this quote is Stoicism, which is also the 7th key to making our relationships better. Number 7. Impatience. Stoics believe that patience is not only a virtue, but also a deep understanding of how time and life work. When we lack patience, we get caught up in a storm of anxiety and stress that makes it harder to see things clearly and calmly. For example, imagine you are in a long queue at a store, feeling irritated and frustrated. You keep checking the clock, showing signs of irritation, and complaining to the people around you. Your impatience not only makes your experience unpleasant, but it also affects. With boundless love and patience, Jesus taught us to love our enemies and pray for those who hurt us. He tells us to deal with problems with patience and forgiveness instead of anger or bitterness. This teaching helps us find peace in our hearts and build a society that is kind and peaceful. Take a look at an example. If you're waiting for a promotion at work but are annoyed by how slowly things are moving, don't give up. Instead of acting quickly, ask yourself what you can do to better prepare for the chance and what skills you need to develop while you wait. This will help you stop worrying about time and focus on improving yourself, turning the waiting period into a chance to grow. Being patient helps us stay calm and in charge. Row in every situation, which helps us deal with problems more wisely and successfully. Ask yourself, am I letting impatience run my life? What can I do to become more patient? By answering these questions, we can start the journey of making patience an essential part of our lives. Remember that patience is not just passive waiting. It also means acting with faith and serenity, knowing that all good things come at the right time. We need to trust the process and believe that with patience, we will achieve the best in life. Are you ready to stay calm and patient in every situation? Number 8. Losing control of emotions. Emotions are an important part of being human. They affect how we think, act, and connect with others. Having feelings can make our lives better, but losing control of them can be bad. When we can't control our feelings, we might feel more stressed, have trouble making decisions, and have relationships that are strained. Learning how to keep your emotions in check is important for your health and for getting along with other people. Figuring out what sets off your emotions. Emotional triggers are things or events that make you feel very strongly emotionally. Figuring out these triggers can help you better predict and control your emotional reactions. Stress, tiredness, certain people or events, and unresolved issues from the past are all common triggers. Effects of losing control of your feelings. When feelings get out of hand, people may say or do things they later wish they hadn't, which can hurt relationships and identities. Emotions that aren't under control can also hurt your physical health by making you more likely to get heart disease, high blood pressure, and mental health problems. Tips for getting back in charge. Mindfulness and meditation. Being mindful helps you become more aware of your emotional triggers and reactions, which makes it easier to control your emotions. Cognitive behavioral techniques. Questioning and reframing negative thought processes can make feelings less strong. Physical activity. Working out can help you get rid of stress and strain that has been building up. Why emotional intelligence is important. Emotional intelligence means being able to recognize, understand, and control your own feelings, as well as understand and care about other people's emotions. Having a lot of emotional intelligence can help you have better relationships, feel better mentally, and solve problems more easily. Looking for professional help. If dealing with your feelings gets too hard, getting help from a mental health worker can give you support and ways to get better. Therapists can help people get back in control of their emotions by using individualized methods like talk therapy or medicine. How often have you felt so angry that you couldn't control it? That's what Stoicism is all about. People don't value us as much when we can't control our emotions, and we also become weaker when we let them. When we let our emotions control our actions, we become slaves to circumstances and lose the ability to make clear decisions. Stoic philosophy tells us that keeping our feelings in check is the only way to stay calm and think clearly all the time. Imagine a leader who can't control their emotions, and when things go wrong, they act out in anger, frustration, or panic. This not only hurts the trust of their employees, but also makes the workplace tense and less productive. In the same way, Jesus Christ taught that the meek will inherit the earth. Meekness doesn't mean weakness, but the ability to control one's emotions. Remember to stay calm and kind to others. The idea that Jesus was always patient and calm, even during the hardest times, gave his followers strong faith. In our daily lives, we often face situations that make it hard to control our feelings. Have you ever been so mad that you couldn't hold back and then felt bad about what you said or did? That's what happens when you don't control yourself. Stoic philosophy says that whenever we feel angry or anxious, we should stop, take a deep breath, and ask ourselves, is this really important? Is it worth losing my cool over? Practicing self-control not only makes us feel better about our own worth, but it also earns the respect of others. As Jesus and Stoic philosophers have taught, emotional control is the key to a good life. Are you ready to start your journey to develop self-control? Leave your thoughts and stories in the comments. Number 9. Lack of responsibility. Not taking responsibility is a big problem that can affect people in their personal and work lives in many ways. It means not taking responsibility for your actions, tasks, and obligations, which usually leads to bad results. This kind of behavior can be caused by many things like being lazy, scared, not taking responsibility, or even not being aware of what's going on. To create a productive, trustworthy, and peaceful atmosphere, it is important to understand the effects of irresponsible behavior and deal with its causes. Getting to know your responsibility. For someone to be responsible, They have to take responsibility for their actions, choices, and the results of those actions. This is the most important thing for building trust and dependability in both personal and business relationships. What happens when you don't take responsibility? People who don't take responsibility can damage trust, make people less productive, and create a toxic atmosphere. In the workplace, it could lead to missed targets, poor work, and low morale among team members. Finding behavior that isn't responsible. Making reasons, blaming others for mistakes, putting things off, and not keeping promises are all common signs. Seeing these behaviors early on is important for dealing with them and fixing them. Encouragement of responsibility. Creating a culture of accountability can be done by being clear about what is expected of people and giving them helpful comments. Setting up a place where being responsible is valued and praised is important. Growth and duty for each person. Being accountable for your deeds helps you grow as a person. It helps you be more self-disciplined, make better decisions, and be stronger. Taking responsibility helps people gain the trust and respect of others, which is important for both personal and professional growth. To fix the problem of lack of responsibility, we need to know what causes it, spot its signs, and encourage a mindset of responsibility. We can make places that are more productive, trustworthy, and helpful this way, which will lead to better results for everyone. Have you ever become tired of dealing with individuals who refuse to accept responsibility for their actions and instead place the blame on other factors, as outlined in Stoic philosophy? Neglecting to be accountable for our deeds causes us to give up power over our life and succumb to external forces, which erodes the respect and trust of others around us. Envision a worker in an office who, every time they mess up, points the finger at their coworkers or the workplace. This not only makes them look bad to their coworkers, but it also fosters an atmosphere where nobody wants to help each other out. When people don't own up to their mistakes, they end up losing trust in others and getting stuck in a never-ending cycle of failure. The teachings of Jesus Christ convey a similar message. He taught that whoever can be trusted with little can also be trusted with much. This implies that taking responsibility for even the smallest things builds a foundation for reliability and respect in larger matters. Responsibility is an essential part of life. It makes us stronger and wiser when we bravely admit our mistakes and find ways to fix them. Setting a good example in little things lays a firm groundwork for others, and Jesus constantly stressed the significance of personal responsibility and living a genuine, responsible life. Believe that in the course of a typical day, we frequently face circumstances that test our capacity to assume accountability. Have you ever been in a position where you were clearly in the wrong, but still attempted to place the blame on other people or external factors? This simply serves to undermine our strength and confidence. The Stoic view holds that we should fearlessly take full responsibility anytime we make a mistake or fall short of our goals, and then we should ask ourselves, how can I grow from this experience? What can I do to ensure that this doesn't happen again? Being responsible not only makes us stronger and more self-assured, but it also gains the admiration of those around us. Are you prepared to take charge of your life and make the most of the challenges you face? The power to change your circumstances from a victim to a leader lies in your hands. It's been said that a happy person never feels envious. Have you ever felt the opposite of happy when you were envious of someone else's success? It's a subject that leads us to talk about a unique issue: envy and jealousy. Number 10. Jealousy and envy. A person's relationships and overall happiness can take a hit when they're feeling envious or jealous. Despite their frequent interchangeability, they actually denote separate emotions. Jealousy is characterized by a desire for another person's possessions and a fear of losing one's own valuables, such as a relationship or social prestige. To better manage these emotions and cultivate healthier interactions with others, it is vital to have a good understanding of them. Differences and definitions. There are typically 3 people involved in a jealousy situation: the individual experiencing jealousy, the person or thing being competed for, and the person or thing being threatened. The two-way street of envy begins when one person wants what another has or wishes the other person didn't have what they have. Foundational concepts in psychology. Low self-esteem or feelings of inadequacy can fuel either of these emotions, which originate from comparing oneself to other people. Though common among humans, they pose challenges when not handled appropriately. Signs and consequences. As a result of jealousy, one may act aggressively or possessively in order to safeguard their relationships or social standing. While envy has the potential to inspire self-improvement, it also has the potential to turn people into resentful, angry, and even destructive people. Factors influencing society and culture. The way envy and jealousy are seen and communicated is greatly impacted by societal mores and cultural standards. Elevated feelings of competitiveness and comparison may be a result of a cultural emphasis on these traits. Approaches to dealing: improving self-esteem, concentrating on personal development, practicing thankfulness, and reflecting on one's own experiences might help one cope with jealousy and envy. To lessen the blow of these feelings, it's important to talk things out and establish reasonable limits in partnerships. You may improve your emotional health and the quality of your relationships by learning about and working through jealousy. In his teachings, Jesus Christ emphasized the importance of loving our neighbors as ourselves, which not only promotes a compassionate and loving lifestyle, but also helps us celebrate the successes of others. When we love without envy, we form a community full of trust and mutual support, which is crucial in our daily lives. Envy can sneak into our minds unknowingly. Have you ever pondered why you feel jealous when others succeed? Does it really make us better? Think about it. Instead of celebrating a coworker's promotion, you feel jealous, as if they didn't deserve it or that you deserved it more. This leads to feelings of discontent and a lack of team spirit in the workplace, according to Stoic philosophy. The key is to ask yourself, is this really important? What can I learn from the success of others to improve myself? Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, who was emperor, recorded his thoughts in Meditations. Keep your chin up, work on bettering yourself, and remember that everyone has their unique journey to success. A moral and happy life is built on letting go of envy and starting to live with love and acceptance. Are you ready to make that choice? Only you can decide the path you will take on the journey to self-actualization. Letting go of envy not only makes you happier, but it also earns you respect and admiration from others. Making progress is never a picnic, but it's the only way to earn other people's admiration and affection. After giving some thought to the 10 tendencies that lead to disrespect, we've come to the realization that the deep principles of Stoic philosophy may help us overcome each of these habits. Incorporating the teachings of Jesus into our lives, along with the Stoic philosophy of Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, and the spiritual values imparted by Jesus, gives us a fresh perspective from which to view and transform ourselves. Always keep in mind that you are the only one who can truly control your thoughts and actions. By letting go of vices and embracing virtues, you can transform into someone you truly admire and be loved by those around you. In the face of adversity, may the teachings of Stoicism and the unconditional love of Jesus guide you. Lastly, keep in mind that change does not occur overnight, but rather, the little things you do now will accumulate to big things later on. I hope you find success on your path to self-improvement, and always keep in mind that the key to making great changes is within yourself. By living a life that is respectable and meaningful, you will honor yourself and attract respect from others.